We're gonna see Perks against Teddy at MSI anyway at this point, I think.
Okay, let's get ahead of ourselves anyway. But anything you want to say?
Are we really getting ahead of ourselves when we're talking about G2 making it to MSI? They're kind of good. I'd say they're okay.
Yeah, it's funny because I spoke with Colt yesterday and he was like, they're above average. Above average.
They're like decent.
They're decent.
They could be gold.
Yeah. Hello everyone, this is Darius from the Shotcaller, joined here by Brokenshard, head coach of SK Gaming, after a 2-0 week. Congratulations on that win against fnatic. That must feel particularly good.
Yes, it does. I think that's the answer to that question. Yeah. I mean, a win against almost any team will feel good, but I can tell you that wins against Vitality and fnatic feel a lot better than wins against Rogue.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, now SK is also 2-0 in the direct competition to fnatic, and realistically speaking, when it does come to a playoff race situation where you guys are like tied for points, you already have that heads up. So that must feel, like extra rewarding in that regard too.
Yeah, I bet the fans didn't even think SK and fnatic ever being tied would actually be a thing. Yeah. It's also really funny how Riot broadcast spent like a whole lot of time asking if SK deserved to be in the El Clasico debate. I just thought that was funny. No flame, of course. I kind of think that the reaction to the roster maybe was a bit over dramatic, but in some ways justified because not many people were expecting much. But yeah, at least I'm glad that we could show that we can compete with some of the better teams. Even though fnatic are lower on the standings, I still consider them one of the better teams.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, and like this has been said by Riot, this has been said by the fnatic members themselves, it's still a squad that 4 out of 5 members played Worlds Finals last year, just a few months ago, essentially. Now they're...
I mean, yeah, I said it before the interview, like preparing for fnatic is like preparing for any team, but you have to realize that it's still fnatic. Like, they're a good team, they have good players, they are exposable, definitely a lot more exposable than last split, but still someone that needs to be respected and prepared for properly.
Were you worried at all about Reckless's Tristana when that was locked in?
No.
Did you have a specific plan to what happens if they pick Tristana?
No.
Oh, it's just, yeah.
I mean, we banned Sivir.
Right.
People think that Tristana is his best champion. Actually, Sivir is his best champion.
Okay.
And
he considers Tristana his best champion, or did for a long time.
I mean, he was best on Tristana when that champion was broken as all hell. I don't think that's like I'm thinking of like a really good metaphor that isn't offensive. That's like standing on a ladder and saying I'm taller than everybody. Saying that Tristana's your best champion when he played it, when he's a good Tristana, don't get me wrong, but I think that we had specific prep to get him on this champion rather than the Sivir.
Okay, fair enough. Now, overall, one of your players pretty much gets all the praise and gets all the MVP votes, even in this game, and that's a bit it, So let's not talk about Selfmade and how amazing he is and how we probably get Rookie of the Split, but let's talk about the other members. Crownshot has finally been stepping up big time, getting a lot of praise right now. Pyrian, thank you. Obviously was very critically looked at by the community when he was announced, and now has been manifested himself as a really strong mid laner. So you're happy with the overall strength of the squad?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Selfmade, he's a superb player and he works really hard. So I think he deserves the praise, but I think it's incorrect to say that he's like a one-man army. For sure, he's a great player and he's playing super well, and he definitely is a driving force behind our victories, but it's not fair to say that the other players aren't pulling their weight. I think everyone, especially after the recent change to the staff, has gone into overdrive and worked really hard, and Crownshot is starting to finally fix his, I believe, confidence issues on stage and is starting to show that he's a freaking beast, I've been saying that Crownshot is an absolute monster for a year now when he was in LVP, but everyone's like, no, Jeskala's better. I was always #Team Crownshot, and I'll always be #Team Crownshot.
Are you #Team Attila or #Team Upset?
Upset is better, but I want Vitality to win.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, personal reasons and that kind of stuff. Of course. So, okay.
I mean, the thing is, like, Upset is definitely a better mechanical player, right, for sure, performing super well. But I think there's more to it than just being a good player. It's got to be about the team. I don't want to make a prediction, right, but if I was rooting, I would probably be voting for Vitality. But Schalke, although I'm the old buddy of mine, we go really far back. It'll be a great match. Actually, I really like the hype video that they made. Yeah, that was so sick, right? It was like, he's really not smart and is like brainless and starts laughing. I'm just like, that's like all the classic trash talk videos. I thought Riot did a really good job.
Finally.
In general, actually, LEC production is insane. it feels really good, like definitely me because I've been around for so long to be back in Europe. And now there's no like meme about like EU production. LEC is just better. Not just in skill level, like in so many different ways. And I'm like,
delivery, identity.
Absolutely, and I feel really happy to be a part of it. Like even when I was just an academy and I was coming like every now and then to the studio and helping out with draft, I felt super good to be part of like this successful thing because if LEC is successful, I get a job. Like and I get a job, and then that means I don't have to go to get an actual job, you know, and that's like great.
It's amazing. You get to like talk about video games for a living.
Yeah. I mean, I get to tell people how to play video games for a living, and I'm really happy about that. I mean, this year has been really good for me. That's all I would say. Yeah.
I would assume it's been a bit of a roller coaster almost, because like I mean, when I remember, so you basically were coaching SK, the national league team for a very long time before this, and then when it was announced that SK would join the LEC, everyone kind of expected, okay, you would just upgrade to head coach of the main team. Then Sheepy was announced, and now you're in the head coaching role of that as well. So it's like it's been a bit of a roller coaster for you, and you're just enjoying your time at this point. And
I mean, I know a lot of people expected me to be LEC head coach just because it made sense, but I actually didn't want it. I didn't really want the LEC spot. I didn't try to fight for it either. When they told me that they had plans for me for Academy, I was all on board because I actually in the beginning didn't think I was ready to get back on the LEC stage. I mean, I admit that I've made a lot of mistakes and like I was never a perfect coach. I always just tried to do my best, but sometimes I messed up, and that's probably a reason why I was always bouncing around teams. It was never a good fit. So one of my goals was to just develop myself. I think after I left Gamers Origin, or we parted ways, my goal was to just buckle down and work hard, not only on myself, but what I was doing. And I didn't feel like I was ready to take that step. So I was really happy when they offered me the academy spot. And I felt that I could like self-develop and work hard. And that was my goals. And the academy team is doing super well. Obviously, I don't want to take all the credit for that. I feel like, of course, I'm doing a good job. But the players in the academy team, they make it easy because they listen to me and we work super well together, and they're really talented. So it was really easy for me to develop myself and become better. And then when they told me that they wanted me to be the head coach, I'm not going to lie, I was scared shitless. A little bit. Like, obviously, I was a bit nervous. Like, do I have what it takes? Can I do this? And after a day or two of sitting in and doing that job, I felt like, you know, I could do it. I just needed to just look at it as I would any other project, and obviously constantly look for feedback and work not only on myself, but make sure that the players have everything they need. Being a coach is a self-sacrificing job, but it's really easy with these guys because they're super smart. So I don't even have to be the smartest guy in the room. They're actually all like probably smarter than me when it comes to like super in-game knowledge. I can just help direct them and discipline them and make sure they have a good environment. And I'm also really happy to have an analyst, Realistic, who's like also insanely smart. He helps me with all the draft prep. He even takes over like a lot of the draft prep. Like today, the fnatic the draft, like 90% of it was his. I just come in and I try to fit it more to our team. But like I'm really happy to have like all this around me. It makes me look successful, but I don't feel like I'm doing anything special. I'm just making sure that putting together the pieces, and that's really helping me make me look good, but at the same time also helping me kind of learn and become a better coach and a better person because of that.
What I was wondering about though, because like in the announcement it said that you and your analyst would essentially take over both teams, like both the main team and the academy team. So double the stress, double the work. How's that been working out? Have you slept at all?
I'm so tired. My last 2 weeks or week and a half, 2 weeks has been league nonstop from beginning of the day to the end of the day, and I love it. Like I'm really passionate about the academy project, and at the same time really loyal to SK because they've taken really good care of me and giving me the resources I need to succeed. And I want to step up and do well for the organization. They're putting a lot of effort and they treat us super well. And I mean, I stepped up because I wanted the org to succeed, and I would do anything to make the org succeed. Even that means I have to step down and give my role to someone better, I would do it because I just want people to succeed and I want to do my best. But yeah, it's rough. Like I'm coaching 2 teams or helping coach 2 teams with the assistance of obviously my analyst, and it does take a lot of time, and it's a temporary thing. We're rounding out like our signing of a new academy head coach, but I want the academy guys to be very successful. They play in the Premier Tour final in Bonn. Next weekend actually. I'll be flying there to go on stage to help them. And they're looking in good shape to go to EU Masters, and I would love to help them there if the main team has no obligations like playoffs or anything like that. So yes, it's hard. It's a lot of work, but it's rewarding because I just get to coach video games for a living. But a couple of hours off would be nice. Probably going to take some tonight to chill. And then tomorrow, the academy team scrim. So I'm going to go back to the office.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting matchup between go big or go home or run SKG.
Well, we smash big every other time. Never lost to Don Arts in a LAN in my life. And I'm not going to let that happen again.
Okay. Again, never.
Not going to let that happen ever.
No 1 minute 25 invades in this case. Was it 1 minute?
I mean, 25? Yeah, but Don Arts is a big inter on land, so just kidding. I mean, be humble. Big looked bad in the beginning, and they've actually improved a lot. We looked okay in the beginning and became really good, and I think we just keep on improving and keep getting better. So depends on how much Big is improved. I think their confidence levels are getting a bit higher, so it should be a really good matchup, actually.
Since you've played since you've coached in a lot of national leagues at this point, what do you think of the quality of the German league, especially in this year, given that, some of the really, really good players like Jan and Nikolai are playing in the German league, not doing as well right now, but ESG all of a sudden is not doing so well either. Schalke have their roster, Unicorns are doing okay from what I can hear. Big is stepping up, you guys are stepping up. It feels like the German scene has finally become a scene that should be recognized, especially like looking at EU Masters and stuff like that.
I mean, you'd think that, but not really. I mean, like, Big have good players, but they don't play well. They didn't look good. Ad Hoc have good players, but they also don't play well. It's like kind of funny how they come to the team and then like all of a sudden aren't like living up to the hype. So I think the German scene has definitely taken a step up the competition, but I don't think we have many great teams. We just have, I would consider SK and Big probably the two best teams, and then like a bunch of like inconsistent teams. I think France or Spain are probably the best, because like Poland has like one, maybe two like really good teams, or like one really good team and like two like good teams, and then Spain has like a couple of like ish teams. I think the national leagues are gonna take a bit of time to settle. There are actually a couple of teams that look good, but I wouldn't say a specific region looks good. Right. You got like Rogue Academy, who are insane. LDLC look really good. SK is leading German scene. I'm not gonna obviously Spain Mad Lions, obviously, like you have to respect the Lions. They've got a pretty good roster, like Yopa, Blurzor, pretty great players. Samex, Falco, experienced players. I think that the potential for a big showdown between these teams, not necessarily between region, but between these teams specifically, could happen in EU Masters.
I'm so happy about that, because like in previous years, especially like last year, Spain just felt so dominant compared to every other region. Like it wasn't even a competition. Yes, you had Illuminar, but besides them,
it was Origin. Hello. We were good, and then we sucked.
Yeah,
we were good, and then we sucked.
Like, what was your place? Like 8th place or 16th?
No, I wasn't in Gamers Origin in summer when they placed 8th. We got the top 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
when I left, they started sucking more.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. Gamers. I mean, yeah, there are teams that expected to play well and then didn't, and then NIP got to the final as well, which was really unexpected because they came from this is in the summer. Yeah. They came from the Nordic region, which everyone was like kind of not that great, But I think that talent has definitely scattered around, and it's a lot more even playing field, which is good, because I think the academy teams did a big deal of that, because now you've got more talent scattered around, and then like the national teams that aren't in the LEC but still want to compete are putting more into their teams to try to compete as well. I think the overall system that Riot have put in place is really cool. I like it a lot more than academy. It's a lot more interesting than just main league sub league. It's like main league, millions of sub leagues, and that's good for the EU player base because there's so many players, and as a result, many leagues to play in. Which means that if you're a pretty good player in EU, realistically speaking, you have an opportunity, and that's great, because there's in NA it's very difficult. Yeah.
And, there are also our imports in NA Academy. And overall, it just feels like, why would I ever watch, NA Academy if I can just watch main NA kind of thing? Like, I mean, it's a broadcast issue, broadcast identity issue as well compared to, like, national leagues. So I'm like, okay, yeah.
I think the identity is definitely a problem there. I think it would be cool if Riot combined NA and EU Academy to, like, some kind of Atlantic showdown between the academy teams.
Actually Academy Worlds.
Like, Academy Worlds. Legit Academy Worlds. Like,
but then it feels like...
But then it's just Academy, so what about, like, national level Worlds? Yeah. Like, academy teams, and, like, maybe the top 4 NA Academy teams come to EU and play against the top 4 EU Masters teams, and then throw in, like, an Academy team or 2 in there, just, like, as invites. I mean, something could happen. Logistically speaking, it's really hard. But I think that there's potential there for something. But maybe it won't happen. I'm not sure. I'm just saying that EU Academy is a lot more interesting because I'm European. Well, I work in Europe. But there are some really cool people in NA Academy like Treats who's playing super well. And I think that any opportunity for a player to show their skill is a good opportunity. And there's benefits to the Academy League. It's just not super interesting as a spectator thing. You know what I mean?
And at the end of the day, you know, we have to admit spectators or like viewers make up, you know, the largest part of the market.
Yeah.
Like it's a biggest factor at the end of the day. You know, you can be the best region in the world,
but if
nobody watches,
cares,
then
right?
and then you don't make money, and then you get problems. And this is why Korean teams sometimes just disappear, and Samsung just drops out, and it's like, oh, rip, you know, it's like.
But Korea looks good now with
for sure.
a lot of new teams coming in and shaking it up. Obviously, I'm a KT fan, which sucks. Really sucks right now. Feels so bad. But Griffin look really fun.
I mean, Sandbox as well, for sure.
Yeah, Sandbox, Damwon. Jin Air really, really sucks.
Yeah.
Like, they're not that good. But SKT are kind of back on the upwards trend. Yeah. I think I like that a lot. I like Teddy.
I mean, everyone was hyped for that.
No, Teddy's so good. Yeah. Teddy Mata, that's a crazy lane, yeah.
But is it as crazy as Upset and Igna? We will see that at Worlds, maybe. We'll see.
I mean, Schalke actually have to get to Worlds at that first.
Yeah, but
Didn't everyone say they were going to get it last year and it didn't happen? I mean, it'd be cool. They just have to get there. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, I was just memeing.
We're gonna see Perks against Teddy at MSI anyway at this point, I think.
Okay, let's get ahead of ourselves anyway. But anything you want to say?
Are we really getting ahead of ourselves when we're talking about G2 making it to MSI? They're kind of good. I'd say they're okay.
Yeah, it's funny because I spoke with Cold yesterday and he was like, you know, they're above average. You know, above average.
They're like decent.
They're decent.
They could be gold.
Yeah, exactly. Anything you want to say to the SK fans?
Thank you guys for supporting us. I know the change came as a shock to a lot of people, but we're all working super hard. And obviously, thank you to SK and its sponsors. Do I get to sell out here?
Sure.
Telecom, you the man. Razer, you're cool too. Mountain Dew, hell yeah. Mercedes, we drive that car. It's great. And Sennheiser, I use a Sennheiser headset. It's great sound quality. Love it. Thank you guys so much for helping us in everything. And I hope you guys keep supporting us. We're working really hard. Obviously, this interview was a bit more casual, but we work really hard, and we're really happy that our hard work has showed results, and we hope that you guys are happy about that as well.
Casual interviews are usually pretty okay. A hashtag for the people that watch until the end.
Of course, yeah. I mean, if they watch this interview, then they'll see me being an idiot, which is kind of like my thing. Thanks, guys. We're just gonna cut.
No, but I need a hashtag from you, man.
A hashtag
what?
A
hashtag. Just your personal hashtag.
Hashtag. I don't have a personal hashtag. Just hashtag SKWin.
Oh, that's boring.
Hashtag run SKG.
That's also boring.
Okay, hashtag run Brokenshard so I can lose some weight.
Yeah. Okay, hashtag run Brokenshard for the people that watched until the end. Thank you so much, Brokenshard, for your time. This was Darius on the Shotcaller. Hope you have a good day. See you guys next time. Bye-bye. We'd especially like to thank Krzysztof Bujnowicz, Etienne, Thomas Göttel, Dominik Bolze, Lazy Raven, Adam Novosviat, Erich Althaus, and La Maviota for your very special support. And of course, also, we'd like to thank all the people whose names you see scrolling past you right now. And of course, also all the people that like, comment, subscribe, and support our work. Without you, our work wouldn't be possible. Thank you very much.